Congratulations to our University of Birmingham graduands. Here we are in the Great Hall at the heart of the Edgbaston campus. Attendees, mostly graduands and their friends and family, are seated. Here are the student musicians. we're getting started. Here's the first of our 2 mace bearers beginning the ceremony. The centenary mace bearer is usually a staff member who has volunteered to take part in the ceremony. The mace bearer enters through the back of the Great Hall and leads a procession of staff to the stage. Squire Bedell, who is the second of the 2 mace bearers, follows. Maces are placed on stage for the duration of the ceremony.
It gives me the greatest of pleasure to declare this congregation open.
Good afternoon. I'm Neil Handley. I'm Pro-Vice Chancellor at the University of Birmingham, and I'm head of the College of Medical and Dental Sciences. You might be new to this. So am I. I've only been here just over 3 months. I've already committed my first faux pas of going to the wrong lectern to start with. I arrived from the University of Manchester, and clearly I should be saying that's stepping up and promotion to be here with you today. I'm delighted to be here today to welcome you, our graduands, in our beautiful campus, and to extend that welcome to the people who are here with you to share this special occasion. Something you'll remember, all of you, for the rest of your lives. It's great to see you all here, and thank you very much for coming. In particular, welcome to the Great Hall, which I'm sure you'll agree is a wonderful setting. Today, as graduands, you're walking in the footsteps of many, many thousands of students who've graduated here since 1900. I hope you feel the same sense of excitement, fulfillment, and anticipation that they felt. You're wearing the same cap and the same gown as have been worn throughout. I am reassured they get dry cleaned occasionally. It's a moment to savour. Universities are about the pursuit of new knowledge, research, innovation, discovery. Our students are right at the very heart of that. And today, across our ceremonies, we're celebrating a broad range of achievements, including the award of honorary degrees. Amongst you today are those completing your undergraduate studies, those who have undertaken a higher degree, professional qualification. Some of you will have dedicated the last few years to new research, innovation, discovery, culminating here in the award of your PhD. For those of you who've studied a master's qualification or other programs, your time with us will have been a little shorter. And of course, many graduates from the College of Medical and Dental Sciences spend a large proportion of their time not just here on campus, but on placements, in particular contributing at such an important time to the running of the NHS and the provision of healthcare. It always feels like such an important time in the NHS. I'd like to dwell on that moment, on that topic just for a moment. So many graduates from our college, nurses, dentists, pharmacists, doctors, undergraduate, postgraduate, transition from student life into some of the most trusted, revered roles that exist. Caring for people at their most vulnerable, making fantastic contributions to our society. We should be very proud of that, both of you as our students and those here today who've supported you with all of their heart over many years. So let's just pause for a moment on that thought. As a university, like all UK universities, I think we tend to obsess a little over what, in reality, are small details, perhaps simply because they're measurable. Student satisfaction gets turned into national surveys, our ranking, how we assess our work, whether we mark your assignments in the best way, how we give feedback. I actually think sometimes we lose sight of the big things in all this. Perhaps less so as postgraduates, but for those here on full undergraduate courses, degrees, think back to what you were like on arrival, mostly as children leaving school or sixth form college. They, you, now adults. Many about to enter the workplace, many in healthcare, to make phenomenally important decisions about people's future, their lives, how they feel, their future in your hands. In some form or other, I suspect this will hold elements of truth for all of you today. The transition and your development under the umbrella of a tremendous university, the University of Birmingham, will have been major, and it's a tremendous achievement. I have a personal ask for those of you who are going to enter the NHS. As well as my university role, I'm a consultant in the hospital, an endocrinologist, a hormone doctor by trade. It's a fragile time, strikes, stress, coming out of the pandemic. So please, never forget the value of please, thanks, a smile. It can be transformative, not just to patients, but to those people you're working alongside, who may or may not be feeling at their best. It's fundamentally important. Some of you came to Birmingham from outside the UK, and this may have meant leaving your family and friends behind, and then adjusting to living alone in a new culture. Many of you will have been juggling your studies alongside other commitments, work, family, caring. I understand what a huge task that can be. And the choices, options, perhaps sacrifices made may not have been yours alone. There's lots of family and friends here celebrating with you today who were there to support you during your study. I'm sure they would tell you, and I'm looking, it's all been worthwhile. So let's give them a round of applause, and at your discretion, a big loud cheer. So as I think you can tell, I hope that you look back on all of this with a huge sense of pride. Today is an important step in the lives that you've been shaping over the years, a moment to celebrate all your achievements. We hope and trust that your time here at the University of Birmingham, a nationally, globally recognised institution, has equipped you with the tools you need for the next phase of your lives. As Birmingham graduates, you have genuine power to make a positive difference in the world, and we encourage you to go for it. But always remember, you're a graduate of one of the country's top universities. Like I said, we're enormously proud that you are now part of our legacy. And as part of that, I would like us to thank those around you, your tutors, your supervisors, your advisors, both academic staff and our professional services, for playing their part in your success. I think it's a genuine comment that people who choose to work in a university sector do so with a large portion of love for what they are doing around people's education and being part of research, innovation and discovery. So let's give them a round of applause too, and further cheers are optional. And so, having welcomed you, I'm going to draw to a close, looking out across our great hall to the people in front of me and some very proud faces. I suspect there will be the odd tear in the eye and a lump in the throat. That's normal. Please feel very proud as you walk up onto the stage to graduate. It's special, it's very special, and it's now that time. As you come up to the stage, our Chancellor, Lord Billamoria, will admit you to your degree. Be careful on the steps. Give a big smile for the cameras. And don't forget to savour your moment. As your name is read out, that will be your graduation. Congratulations. And friends and family, that is your cue to make a lot of noise. Thank you very much.
Now for the handing of the scrolls. The graduands will walk from the left of the stage to the centre and collect their scroll from the conferring officer. After they're congratulated, they'll walk off stage.
I'm Chris Tsalepis, and I'm Professor of Biomedical Sciences and Director of the Institute of Clinical Sciences. And it gives me the greatest pleasure to present the names of our graduands today. Chancellor, to you and to the University, I present the names of these graduands as listed in my programme, proved worthy to be admitted to their respective degrees.
By virtue of my authority as Chancellor, I admit those persons listed in the programme, both present and in absentia, to the degree to which they are to be presented.
College of Medical and Dental Sciences, Institute of Clinical Sciences, Doctor of Pharmacy, for research into adherence to oral anticoagulants in Eastern Saudi Arabia, Abdul Rahman Madani. Doctor of Philosophy, for research into understanding changes in breathing patterns in respiratory diseases, Iyas Ahmed Al-Khouthiel. For research into the palliative care experiences of forced migrant children and their families, Mary Ann Clancy. Master of Research, Hilary Ikechukwu Ohagu. Nicola Perkins. Joanna Megan Simpkins. Marina Sultan. Master of Science, Shinal Desai. Master of Nursing, full-time, Lauren Boone. Anna Clark. Molly Cripps. Lucy Emily Dean. Hannah Deesh. Elizabeth Hallam. Felicity Isabel Iona Hannah. Kira Amy Maul. Leonie Milton. Gamila Mushed. Olakorede Onatunde. Hannah Scarlett Orwin. Carita Paisley. Rincey Reggie. Sophie Ryan. Amber Shakespeare. Lewis Wakelin. Master of Science, Advanced Clinical Practice, Preeti Mokhtali Athreya. Gurbir Singh Bangu. Nicolette Burrows. Jaspal Singh Johal. Kay McKenna. Louise Oakley. Faisal Patel. Zaima Pervez. Kieran Povey. Halima Sadia. Clinical Neuropsychiatry, Mohammed Kamil Ahmed. Tia Lila Kana. Luke Anthony Chippendale. Fatima Hussein Kanwal. Megan Page Muller. Nafisa Tabassum. Nursing Adult, Iqbal Ahmed. That's what I've got. I've got an extra one. Paulina. Yeah, can I just write it? Paulina Alejandra Rojas Vardela. Simran Gataura. Philippa Grace Giles. Abby Gunton. Rebecca Sophie Lord. Sophia Nanono. Asma Naz. Sienna Lauren Pledge. Abby Lee Hannah Roberts. Lindsay Ellen Simmons. Nursing Mental Health, Lul Ali. Manjoiti Basra. Noni Bennett Williams. Neve Charles. Vlad Andrei Frigata. Jennifer Imasogi. Inderpreet Kaur. Ibrahim Oladipo Muhib. Pembe Kundo. Hannah Parker. Megan Scobie. Emily Rose Till. Restorative Dentistry, Wasan Deyab. Hiba Sebawi. Master of Science, Shane Kyler. Helen Mather. Rennie Matthew. Bachelor of Nursing, Adult, Yusra Abdi. Aliana Rodriguez Agustin. Zainab Ahmed. Laurencia Arthur. Brooke Barnes. Alice Barrett. Mafalda Batala Serrano Marquez Moita. Kwabena Osei Bedieko. Amina Bibi. Hafsa Bibi. Joseph George Boniface. Martha Dooley. Isabel Fisher. Arwen Garbuglio. Amy Giles. Bethany Keziah Harding. Eleanor Sophie Hopper. Clara Hordyke. Arusa Hussain. Zainab Hussain. Saba Iftikhar. Augustina Lerama. Pamela Ross Iman. Eleanor Jackson. Rachel James. Aaron John. Lydia Jones. Amelia Leeson. Kirandeep Manda. Anisha Marara. Lucy Margetts. Francesca Emile Matencio. Santina Teresa McKechnie. Angeli Miravales. Janica Mystery. Najwa Mohammed. Faza Momand. Rose Morris. Samira Mood. Marvish Naz. Beverleen Makumba Taylor. Diane Olofemi Ilesommi Opeodo. Valerie Owusu. Nicole Preet Kaur Rai. Beatrix Valentine Raybold. Ellie Reedy. Maisie Relton. Yasmin Ryan. Angeline Shaggy. Israth Sirajuddin. Charlie Steeples. Nusrat Tabassum. Chantel Tambwanaye. Sophie Wadley. Olivia Wheelahan. Lauren Wild. Kinga Veronica Ziobro. Bachelor of Nursing, Child. Aisha Adiyombo. Malika Ahmed. Precious Praises Akere Jola. Fiza Akhtar. Salsabel Asmail. Neha Athi. Lauren Holly Ball. Solène Davies. Keshet Dor. Ellen May Edwards. Constance Julia Evans. Katie Elizabeth Forrest. Mawiya Gareth Hector. Billy Rose Horn. Ikra Hussain. Sarish Hussain. Kaisak Shikara Bobyiga Ikanaksho. Nadia Islam. Fatu Job. Hanifa Kanom. Rafia Khatun. Hafsa Alia Mahmoud. Molly Grace Meehan. Miriam Musay. Emily Grace Newsom. Saba Noshin. Janet Oriolu Obikoya. Bruna Oliveira. Elizabeth Pegg. Faduma Kasim. Adiba Raim. Chloe Elizabeth Reeder. Amara Ikra Shakil. Abigail Destiny Sharples. Lauren Skeet. Abigail Smith. Shona Kate Staunton. Tallulah Sullivan. Eleanor Taylor. Bethany Dawn Wood. Georgina Wozencroft. Bachelor of Nursing Mental Health, Thanya Akhtar. Bachelor of Nursing Child, Rowan Zafar Faisley. Bachelor of Nursing Mental Health, Liam Francis Aston. Chloe Blakemore. Fortunate Chakabveo. Rufaru Michaela Chitando. Great Ego. Binta Fofana. Samya Lake. Safa Rashid. Ikra Sajid. Mohammed Noman Tariq. Nursing, Laura Aifuwa. Ashley J. Daraboy Alolo. Aksa Rafiq. Dorothy Wheatley. Bachelor of Science, Biomedical Science, Keishin Ma. Natalie Sadie. Bachelor of Science, Clinical Anatomy, Natasha Boketa. I will now lead the declaration for University of Birmingham healthcare professions. For graduates in the healthcare professions, please stand and repeat after me. In accepting my degree today, I recognise that I embark upon a career involving care of patients, families and loved ones. I promise to reflect on and uphold in all I do my duty as a healthcare professional, and to put the care of patients at the heart of all of my actions. I shall treat all patients with compassion and respect. I shall listen and explain so they may reach decisions on their care and on their treatment. I shall never compromise the safety or the dignity or comfort of my patients. Nor shall I discriminate against them or my colleagues. I shall justify the trust placed in me by patients and by individuals and by society by working with integrity. I shall keep my knowledge up to date. When I make mistakes, I shall acknowledge them. With candour to my patients and report them I shall learn from error. I understand that I alone must take responsibility for all I do and be prepared to justify my acts and my decisions. I declare that I will justify the privilege that the award of my degree bestows on me. You may now be seated. I would like to now introduce the student speaker, Noman Tariq.
Congratulations. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, and the remarkable graduating class of 2023. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Noman, and I somehow managed to graduate. I feel honored to stand here before you on this seminal moment in our lives. First of all, I would like to thank our lecturers for their efforts in making today a possibility. I would also like to thank friends and family whose support and advice has helped us achieve this goal. I, for example, owe most of my motivation to my mother, who was the kindest, most generous spirit I've ever known. A huge well done to all my fellow graduates. You have all inspired me day in, day out, in so many ways. The only thing more valuable than what we walked off stage with today was who we walked on stage with. I hope in the years to come, we can find strength in each other to cope with the pressures faced by the health services. Our journey has been like a roller coaster, but I must highlight the resilience shown by every student, the history-making COVID generation of graduates. For many of you, starting at the peak of the pandemic was not easy. Yet, you all adapted so well to online teaching and not switching on your cameras. For me, university was an opportunity to push my boundaries and explore new limits. I clearly remember the day in the summer of 2020 when my UCAS status changed from pending to accepted. I was over the moon and even created an Instagram post. The staggering number of likes, 3, to be precise, did not even dampen my spirits. Freshers Week, although online, inspired me with a quote from Professor Sir David Eastwood. Come to university with loads of confidence. I believe this message is still relevant today. I hope we can all go into our careers with loads of confidence too. Some of my highlights as a student include being part of MedSoc and performing on stage for a comedy show. Another quote that resonated with me was, luck is when determination meets opportunity. I learned by saying yes to things, even the ones that scared me, led to wonderful experiences and many opportunities. Therefore, always travel with curiosity and aim for the best. We should all be very proud to be graduating from a fantastic university. I know graduation can come with its own expectations, such as having everything figured out in life. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves. This is just the beginning. I would like to wish you all the very best for the future, and do go crazy with the celebrations tonight. Thank you.
What a great speech. I think another round of applause for Noman Terry. We've been privileged to hear from Professor Neil Hanley, the new head of our medical school and dental school and nursing, and this was his first speech at graduation, and thank you for your contribution right up front. And he referred to you as graduands. You are now graduates. Congratulations. So for me, it's a great privilege to be Chancellor of this wonderful university. I've been Chancellor now for 9.5 years, and the university is 123 years old, and I'm only the 7th Chancellor in its history. So do the sums. Some of my predecessors stayed a long time. Anthony Eden, the former Prime Minister, was Chancellor for 28 years. I'm not going to be here for 28 years, I can assure you. Now, for me, it's particularly emotional, nostalgic, special to be Chancellor because my family history with this university goes back nearly 1 century. My maternal grandfather, squadron leader J.D. Italia, studied here in the 1920s, graduated in 1931, learned how to fly over here without telling his father, and then joined the Royal Indian Air Force and served all the way until the end of the Second World War. His daughter, my mother, came here in 1955 and graduated and wore her sari to every class every day. And her brother came in the 1960s from India and did his PhD in engineering. And here I am as Chancellor of this university. It is very special. This university is phenomenal. You just walk out of this great hall and walk down the corridors left or right, and you will see history of our research brought to life through museum objects and prototypes and manuscripts, photographs that tell stories of groundbreaking research. I mean, one example is the work of Sir Peter Medawar, who won a Nobel Prize for his work on organ transplants, and we have won 10 Nobel Prizes at this university. You will also see the work of 2 dentists who invented the first airbags after treating servicemen with severe facial injuries from vehicle accidents sustained during the First World War. And we have the Tyseley Energy Park. We work close, the NHS works very closely with the university. So, before I go any further, no one said it, Professor Neil said at the beginning, you could not have done this on your own. You worked really hard, and as no man said, you're the COVID graduates. You started, some of you, at the beginning of COVID. The huge disruption, the resilience that you've shown, and you and your friends have helped each other and worked hard. But as the father of 2 of my children who've already graduated, if you feel proud at the moment, you have no idea how proud they all feel of all of you. And you could not have done it without your families. And you could not have done it without your wonderful teachers. So please, graduates, will you stand up and give them a round of applause? Please stand up, graduates, and give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, when you walk out of those doors as graduates, I'm going to say one thing to you. You can never leave. This is Hotel California. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. I'm being very serious, because now you are joining the 300,000 Birmingham alumni in almost every one of the 200 countries around this globe, around this planet. So you're part of that family forever. Now, I became an alumnus of an American university some years ago, and the next day they sent me an email asking me for money. Now, we're not quite as blunt as that, but do give money in the future. But, it's far more than money. We as a university have raised more money than almost any other university in this country, apart from Oxford and Cambridge, in the millions that we've raised, hundreds of millions, which I'm very proud of. But we had one initiative where we raised time, people donated their time. So what we ask from you in the future is stay in touch with the university, come and lecture, come and teach, come and mentor. Never, ever lose touch with this wonderful university. The friendships you've made here are lifelong friendships. My mother, 87 years old, sitting in India, I celebrated my birthday with her last Sunday. Her best friends to this day are her friends from the University of Birmingham, who she keeps in touch with to this day. And Professor Chris, you read out the declaration along with him. You know, these are words that can be recited by heart, but they have meaning. I shall justify the trust placed in me. And one of my professors at business school gave a 1-hour lecture on trust during the pandemic, a virtual lecture, and I will summarize that 1-hour lecture into 1 minute. And she said, trust is like a triangle. To get trust from other people, you've got to be authentic. Is it the real you that people are dealing with? To get trust, you have to have the logic, you have to have the capability, the knowledge, the professional training to promise to do what you're being asked to do. And you have learned all that here. And finally, the most important is to get trust, you have to have empathy. Are you in it for yourself or are you in it for them? So authenticity, logic, and empathy, and you can get trust from, as the declaration says, your patients, individuals, and society. And then it says, by working with integrity. It is better to fail doing the right thing than to succeed doing the wrong thing. And that word integrity is very, very powerful. The declaration also says, I shall keep my knowledge up to date. One of my favorite quotes, I was driving my younger son to school a few years ago, suddenly he turned around to me and he said, Dad, yes, Josh, you've got to live as if you're going to die tomorrow. What are you talking about? And Dad, you've got to learn as if you're going to live forever. I said, where did you find that? Dad, Mahatma Gandhi, of course. So live as if you're going to die tomorrow, learn as if you're going to live forever. The learning never stops. You've got your degrees now, you must keep learning. And that's why it says, I shall keep my knowledge up to date. And finally, the one I picked out is, I shall learn from error. One of my favorite sayings is, good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. There's no shortcut to making the mistakes and hopefully learning from them. One point that Professor Neil said right up front, which is very important, he said it is about being kind, about the pleases, about the thank yous. And my aunt in India, who taught at the Armed Forces Medical College, recently fell very, very ill. She taught anatomy. So every doctor who was trained through that top medical college in India has been trained by her. And her surname is Doctor. So she's Doctor. And they would call her Ma'am Doc. When she fell ill recently, the commandant of the Armed Forces Medical College, a general, drove personally in the ambulance to take her to hospital. And you know, one of her sayings she tells her students is, the bedside manner, being kind to your patients, is more powerful than any medicine. So very important words that you heard there from Professor Neil. I've been in the House of Lords for 17 years. I was the third youngest when I joined. I'm still one of the younger peers. Our average age is 72, a lot of wisdom in the House of Lords. And one of my jobs there in Parliament is I co-chair the all-party parliamentary group on international students. Now you noticed there how many international students we had. I'm also president of the UK Council for International Student Affairs in the country. I'm a former international student myself. Do you know how important international students are to this country? You bring £42 billion every year. Thank you very much. But you know, far more important than that, you enrich our universities and the experience of everyone in our universities, our students, our staff, and you are our biggest ambassadors for this university, for Britain, forever. As we speak right now, there are more world leaders who've been educated at British and American universities than all the other countries in the world combined. That is the power of international students. So I think we deserve to thank the international students. Thank you very much. A huge round of applause for them. I've just come back from Dubai from attending COP28, representing the university there at our brand new Dubai campus, the only Russell Group university to have a campus in Dubai, which I'm very proud of. We're very good at our research at this university. What better way of demonstrating that research than the PhD students who graduated today? So a round of applause for the doctors. And I'm sorry if I boast, but I boast with pride. In my tenure as Chancellor, we won a Queen's Anniversary Award a few years ago. This is given twice, every 2 years, to 20 institutions, every 2 years. We won one for our railway department because we then developed the world's first hydrogen-powered retrofitted train, the first ever in the world. At COP26, when I was president of the Confederation of British Industry, the CBI, I was there and so proud when Prince Charles, now His Majesty the King, was on board that train, when Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, was on board the train, when I chaired a meeting of transport leaders from around the world on board that hydrogen-powered train developed at this university. That won a Queen's Award. And a few weeks ago, I was at St. James's Palace, and we won another Queen's Award, and this time for the work we're doing with Rolls-Royce on jet engines and the blades of jet engines and the metallurgy involved. So that's the excellence of this university. That's what I'm so very proud of. I spoke at the QS Global Rankings. Now, students here will know what QS rankings is, the ranking of the universities in the world. This country makes up less than 1% of the population of the world. We have 17 out of 100 of the top universities in the world, including the University of Birmingham. So be proud of this university. And before I conclude on a very serious note, Noman spoke, you could make out in his speech, it was all about the phenomenal camaraderie that you've all developed amongst yourselves. It's a horrible world out there. I'm more worried about the global conditions than I've been for a long time. You can go back to the financial crisis, you can go back to COVID, you can go back to the start of the Ukraine war, and it's still on, and the horrible, awful, tragic situation in Israel and Gaza. You can go out there and you can fail because of. In fact, some people fail because of. Other people succeed in spite of. And you can succeed, and you will succeed, and you must succeed. And most importantly, my wife is South African, and there's an African saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And keep that camaraderie that you have here for the rest of your lives. These will be your friends forever. And what I've learned developing a business, Cobra Beer, a household name that I'm very proud of from scratch, is it's all about guts. It's about the guts to do it in the first place, but it's the guts to carry on when others would give up. And I've nearly lost my business 3 times. It's all about attitude. And our motto is to aspire and achieve against all odds with integrity. So, Noman mentioned luck, and he gave the definition of luck, which is the definition that I often state. Luck is when determination meets opportunity. If you are not determined, you will not even see the opportunity. I picture it as waves that go past me in life. If you're determined, you might just catch one of those waves. If you're not determined, those waves will go past you all your life. So get lucky, good luck, and finally, believe in yourselves. As Mahatma Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits form your character, and your character determines your destiny. Congratulations and all the very best. Thank you. I now declare this congregation and ceremony closed.
To close the ceremony, the maces are collected from the stage. The mace bearers lead the procession of staff and new graduates out of the Great Hall. The ceremony that completes the university journey for hundreds of Birmingham alumni is now closed. Congratulations to our new graduates. The attendees applaud our new graduating class.